All right, so if there are any students that need the YouTube link, it will be available in just a few seconds. Okay. Aquí está YouTube. Mm-hmm. All right, so I don't know if there are any students that need the. Excellent. Okay. Okay. All right. So excellent. Alrighty. So let me start recording here. All right, so we're going to start recording now. So, welcome everybody. My name is Abdi Lopez, and this is.
Hi, my name is Noemi. Welcome, everyone.
So, what we'll be doing to all the juniors today is we're actually going to see everybody who participates. We're hoping that more of you connect. As you connect, we're going to raffle out some pretty awesome things. So, hopefully, you can stick around. We will have a Q&A time after our presentation. So, you can also ask your questions in the chat. And after our presentation, we will get to them. Excellent. So, you can view all of the things that we're going to be talking about in our apsphoenix.org website. You'll be able to have this very presentation and PDF available to you with live links so that you can just go back. And what we want you to do today is to just concentrate really on the information, understand what we're talking about, and ask questions because Noemi and I and other students and professionals have done a lot of research on the programs that would benefit you as high school juniors. Excellent. Now, our very first raffle is going to be a preparation book for either the SAT or the ACT, depending on which you choose. And if you don't know what that is, trust me, after today, you'll know. All right. So, very first step that we want you guys to consider and kind of get turn on your gears right now, and that's that your one of your very first goals right now as a junior, as you're taking your classes and taking care of your GPA, is looking for the right college. So, what fits better for me? Right? Is it going to be out of state? Am I going to do in state? Is it going to be going straight to university? Or am I just going to start at a community college or vice versa? Right? So that's what we want you guys to start thinking about is what's going to happen not a year from now, but what's going to happen 2 years from now, right? So you're ready, right? And you don't miss any of the deadlines we're going to talk about. Now, there's no elevator to success. So you're not going to do this overnight, right? You're going to take it step by step, right? That's why you're going to be taking these stairs. When you are looking for the right college, you want to consider different things, right? And today we want you to make a plan, right? And don't be afraid to dream big. So if you come from a family that's first generation, never been to college, never been to university, it might be a big idea, right? To just be able to say, "Hey, mom, I'm going to go out of state, right? I want to go study at UCLA, or I want to go study at Harvard, or all these colleges that maybe no one in your immediate circle has ever gone to, right? And that's why you were here today to help you facilitate those goals. So where do we begin, Noemi?
I'm having trouble seeing the PowerPoint.
Kidoki. See. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So where do we begin?
Okay, so when you're looking for the right college, there are certain things that you should consider. For example, mainly, what is the career that you want to pursue? What degree do you want? Does your college or university offer any of these programs that you want to pursue? If you want to be a doctor, does it have a good medical school? And also, you want to consider if it has in-state benefits, if you're considering an out-of-state college, you want to consider all of the costs that will come from not only tuition, but also if you're going to be, well, you're going to be in a dorm, how much is going to cost to live over there. Um, if you want to go to the next slide. One of the things that you can do to find out about these colleges in times of pandemics, the pandemic, since you're not able to actually go to any of the tours in person, a lot of these colleges are offering virtual tours where they not only go over the campus, but they also talk a little bit about their programs. For example, the Maricopa Community Colleges, we have some of the links on there. For Phoenix College, Glendale, Mesa, Rio Salado, Scottsdale, and Gateway. You can find their virtual tours on these links.
Great.
And from the Arizona universities, there's also ASU, NAU, GCU, U of A, and Midwestern University. And then some of the out-of-state universities that some people on the survey were interested in were UCB, which is in California. That's the link there for that virtual tour. UCLA, also in California, USC, Stanford, all of those are California state universities. You can check the virtual tour so you can learn more about their campus and their programs. There's also the John Hopkins Medical School in Maryland and the University of Portland, Oregon for the person or the people who want to go to these universities. And then there's 3 colleges that you guys were interested in. They were the Ivy League universities, the Harvard, Yale, and Brown. There are 8 others that you can go on their website, and they will probably also have the links for the virtual tours. For all of these websites and for all of these colleges and universities, you can go on their website and look for virtual tours. Most of them will have videos, but then there's also some where they have an interactive program. So you can go at it at your own pace.
Excellent. So, guys, we want you to leave today with a checklist. So, what am I supposed to do, right, in this school year, which probably now is like about 6, 7 more months, right? So we want you to make sure that you are actively exploring careers or actively exploring your areas of interest, right? And there's a website called bls.gov.oco, and it's right here, bls.gov./OCO, and really get your hands in to different professions, right? So this might be mean getting into internships, which we will talk about a little bit later on in today's presentation. Also observing. So what are professionals doing in the area, right? So APS is going to offer a few sessions where we're going to be talking with these professionals, right? An architect, an engineer, a doctor. What is life like? Not just what is education like, because sometimes we think about being a doctor and it's like, oh no, that's too much school. But if you think about it, your vocation is doing the work of a doctor, then that's different, right? And that'll guide maybe some of the decisions that you'll be doing as you're going along. So keep that in mind. Kind of be asking yourself, what do I want to become? And then as you're going along, the year, right? You want to go to college fairs, right? Go to these presentations. So bravo to each of you who have come or are connecting, right? Because this is what's gonna guide you, right? You don't want to get senior year and it's like, middle of spring and you're like, oh my God, where am I gonna do? What am I gonna do, right? If some of you guys end up there, you can still do something. But the thing is there are deadlines, right, to these programs. Now, many of you might have already taken the PSAT, or might be taking the PSAT as juniors, and you want to take it, right? You want to measure yourself and really get into the practice of taking the standardized tests because they are designed to be practiced for the ACT and the SAT, right? Which we'll talk about today as well. You also want to make sure that you are aware that you will have to eventually take these exams, right? So if you don't take them in the fall of your senior year, you will have to take them before going to university. And that's just part of the application process. And they will also help you get some of the financial aid and also have your heads up. There will be some scholarships that you are eligible for. Not as many as when you're a senior, but you want to know the process and get familiar, right? Get your foot wet and whatnot, and explore some of the other scholarship websites which are available to you here as well. Great.
Okay, so where do I start studying for my ACT, SAT? Um, like Abdi said, you could start with the PSAT, but there's also a lot of different options online that are free. One of these is Varsity Tutors. This website has ACT, SAT test, but it also has GED, GMAT, GRE, and LSAT prep test, flashcards, and diagnostic test.
Yeah, this seems like a great website, Noemi. When we were talking about it, probably top five on prepping for these sites on your own pace, 10, 15 minutes a day, and bam, you're advancing in your test prep. Because remember, these tests test content for high school. So your math, your science, your English, but really studying the test sets you apart from other students because that's what's really going to get you the highest score. It's not just how good are you in math or how good are you in English? Not necessarily that. It's really testing under timed conditions. Can you answer very specific questions with very specific language that they have in each and every test? So
Okay,
these are some of the other websites, right? Mhm.
here's a test prep practice, and there's another one that's not included on here, but it will be included on the website,
Yeah,
on the APS
absolutely.
website.
Mhm. One of my greatest tips that I like to give students as a tutor and teacher is that you really want to spread over your time over several days. I've met students who, for the ACT and the SAT, start prepping freshman year, right? And that's fine. But what you want to be able to do is you now that you're a junior, right? So you've probably already seen the majority of the content that's going to be on these tests. So just practice, right? Spread it over several days. I recommend months. So you'll be seeing some of the deadlines coming up in the next slide. And just like just space it out, right? Over time. You're not gonna, prepare or cram for these tests because that's not how they're designed. If you want to study in 30-minute intervals, take a break. Saturdays, get your team together, your friends, groups, study buddies, and as you're going along, take notes on what you're missing and advance slowly but surely.
So what's the difference between the SAT and the ACT? The main difference for each test, for this test, is that the ACT includes a science portion that the SAT does not include. The ACT will score you on the average of all four sections because the essay is optional. You don't have to take it. It'll be a number from 1 to 36. And the SAT scoring will be a composite score out of 1600.
Yeah, and these are majority of the students that are in Phoenix Union High School District are free for you. So you have to contact your counselor and you can take them more than once. I remember taking the SAT 5 times, the ACT 2 or 3 times, I can't remember, but it's not limited, right? So just make sure to reach out to your counselor. Many of you guys can get those fee waived, although they're not too much, 80, $90. And if you are struggling with these fees, you can contact your parents or contact APS or different organizations that could be of help in paying for these fees.
Okay, so the SAT dates and deadlines, you do have to be aware about the deadlines to register and also to go take your test. So like we said, if you want to practice your taking the test, you do want to give yourself enough time. So for example, December 5th is coming up in 2 months approximately. So you want to start prepping now and registering for that um, by November 5th. So you do have to register before the actual test.
And this is a majority, right, of the students will ultimately take it their senior year. Beware if you are applying to these Ivy League schools. For example, you will have to consider taking it, for example, December of next year, right? So that you're aware these are the deadlines because you can't take them every day, right? So just know that there's set deadlines. Collegeboard.org will allow you to register whenever you are interested in taking them, but know that you have to register in advance. It looks like at least, a month in advance. Um, you want to be able to have everything, all your ducks in line, right, for these tests. So there's the graphic
And
that
then
can help
yeah,
you.
the ACT dates as well and
Hmm.
deadlines.
All right, great. So we are going to present now scholarships. We get so many questions about scholarships. So we want to make sure that you understand that there are about millions of scholarships out there that many of us are eligible for, you being a junior are eligible for. So there are going to be specific deadlines, and what we want to do is help you organize them, right? Those millions of scholarships. So one of those we're going to call programs that are specific, tied to some organization, right? And that's going to benefit you. Secondly, we're going to talk about scholarships tied to the schools, right? Provided directly by the schools and for the schools that you're interested in going to. Thirdly, we're going to talk about organizational scholarships, right? That are just provided by these organizations, right? That are just free money, adios, right? And there's also going to be great resources and databases that we'll present. So, Naomi, if you want to get us started with the programs.
Okay. So one of the programs that we advise students on is actually working for the university or college that you will be attending. One of the main reasons we say this is so that you can get a discount tuition. For example, ASU, they give you 75% discount if you at least work part-time. And this benefit also extends to to your spouse or your child. So that means if your parent or if your parent works there or you work there, you can later on also apply this benefit for other members of your family. And then also if you work for ASU, it's not just for that school where you have to take classes. You can also take classes at U of A and NAU.
Excellent.
And then there's also programs where you can work with an employer and they will pay for your college tuition. They can do this in two different ways. The first way, and that's more common, is the reimbursement. That means that they will pay you after you graduate, and you will have to probably graduate with a certain degree in that field where that um, company is working in. Like for example, Quick Trip, they pay you if you promise them a few years of work after graduation. And then there's also uh, employers that will help you pay for tuition as you're taking these classes. And one of those examples is the Starbucks College Achievement Plan. You only have to work 20 hours a week, and they help you get your bachelor's degree at ASU if you are going to major in an online program. And I do want to mention that a lot of bachelors of arts are completed online, so you do have a lot of options. Don't think that just because it's online you can't do um, you can do many things. Like for example, you may not be able to take a doctor's medical degree online, but you do have a lot of other options in business and um, bachelor's of arts, basically.
Excellent. Even Bachelor of Sciences too. Biochemistry is surprisingly online. So there's also a very great program, the Year Up program, that I'll intervene here and say some of our students have given us great feedback on this organization, and many of you have probably met them at some way or another. So this is specifically something we like to share with students who are DACA students. This is available to anyone ages 18 and 24. If you're not sure about, going straight to college, what you can do is this organization is going to help you do business administration, marketing, or IT, these very specific associate degrees, and they launch you right away into the workforce, right? So instead of going to college, figuring it out on your own, you go with this organization. They guide you through it, but it's very geared to very specific high demand jobs like business, marketing, and IT. Why is it great for DACA students? It's great for DACA students because they offer you employment options, and they cover the tuition, right? Which is sometimes what we have difficulty doing. And they also cover all the way up to bachelor's degrees now, right? So the Year Up has partnered with Ohio State and a few other universities where you can actually just get your entire degree paid for, right? If you have um, the ability to work with Year Up, right, filling these high need jobs for a specific number of years. And we've got great feedback from participants in this program. So we want to make it available to everybody, not just documented students, but also students of all of age that are 18 to 24 years old. And this is where I think we can really get into the nitty gritties of scholarships that are part of the institution, right? So we ended our section with programs. So now we're about to get into the nitty gritties with institutional scholarships, right? So there are different institutions. So in the chat, I want everybody to participate. So what are institutions? So what are our options here? Colleges, universities, what are options as far as institutional scholarships? So go ahead and write it in the chat. Um, Very good, very good. So we are looking at right now, for example, a community college, right? That's an institution, a community college. So community colleges are funded by us, the taxpayers, right? And there are a lot of scholarships at at the community college level. One of those that we really like to promote is that if you have a 3.25 GPA out of high school, you can get your entire 2 years paid for because the taxpayers are actually paying for this, right? So you can get 4 semesters paid for if you have a 3.25 GPA, right? And this is only for students who have, social security number, who are documented. Sorry, not just social security number, but that have legal status, right? So, there will be some scholarships available to DACA students or students who are undocumented, and we'll get to them a little later on. But right now, we want to make sure that those students who are citizens, who are residents of the United States, qualify for a lot of foundational scholarships, either like we see here, the Chancellor Scholarship or the Maricopa Foundation Scholarship, that's available to students who have legal status and can range from 1,000 to $250. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Good job, guys. All right. So continuing, right? Here's the criteria. This will be available online for you to see, but we really want you to take advantage of scholarships that really cover years of tuition, right? Which would be like, for example, the first scholarship that we saw there, the Presidential Honor Scholarship, right? All right. And last but not least, for DACA mentored students, there is private money, right? So donations that go into the community colleges that can be given to any student, right? Not publicly funded, not tax dollar funded, but yes, privately funded. So I, maybe a millionaire, go to community college and be like, hey, I want to donate to this fund, and that's the fund that you documented students could qualify for. So go ahead and go to the MCC website here on the bottom. This website will also allow you to to qualify, right? So make sure to apply. They do have deadlines. So, for example, for this spring 2021, so January 2021, it has closed. But for fall 2021, many of you aren't there yet. But when the time comes, make sure you apply in March, right? So that when you want to start in August, which is typically when most students start college, you want to already in March be up and running and applying for these things. Okay, great. Alrighty, and last but not least, I really want to emphasize here that this is a program that was active in 2019, and we're verifying if it's still active. And maybe by the time you graduate, it'll continue to be active. But this is a great program for Grand Canyon University interested students. If you have a 3.0 GPA and have a specific ACT, you see the ACTs or the SAT come up again, right? You can actually attend GCU on this scholarship if you apply, of course, online, and if you graduate from Phoenix Union, independent of your status. So I can be an undocumented student, meaning that I don't have DACA, that I'm an undocumented student that either graduates from Phoenix Union, any of them, right? Central, Carl Hayden, all these local schools, Glendale, Washington, or Brigade. And if I graduate from there and apply on time and have a 3.0 GPA and do good on the ACTs, guess what? I qualify to get not 2 years, but my entire 4 years covered at a private university. So you're talking about something over $100,000 scholarship through this program. And this is open to both legal students with legal status and students that don't have legal status, which is very unique to Grand Canyon, and make sure that you take advantage of it.
I also want to add for that scholarship, if you go back a little bit,
Mhm.
can you go back to the, oh, you're there. Um, One of the requirements is 100 hours of study time at the GCU Learning Lounge. So since you guys are juniors, you will need to start acquiring your hours. Even if the scholarship doesn't open, I would say take advantage of the Learning Lounge. Like they have a set in there for you if you have like too much going on in your house. I don't know how it's going on right now because of the coronavirus or in the pandemic, but if they do have that open for you, I would say take advantage of that study, please.
Yeah, so the application deadline I believe was in May, so or will be in May. So make sure that your junior and your senior year you are actively getting help from GCU in their learning lounge, which is even tutoring, I believe. So you could even like get free tutoring there, which is great, great, great resource. Thanks, Nomi. All right. So like we said, you want to really apply on time. These are just some of, for example, ballpark scholarships. If you have the GPA, right, you will be able to qualify for a lot of these programs. And you're talking about amounts that, for example, in Grand Canyon range from 3,000, or what is it, the Antelope scholarships, 1,500 to 9,500, right, which is a substantial amount of money. And if you guys see, I want you to notice something. As your GPA goes up, what also goes up, guys?
Your funding.
The money goes up. So that's why we emphasize as juniors, your GPA is priority. Before really like extracurricular activities, your GPA is priority. Because guess what? You can be a full, athlete. You can be really engaged. But if your GPA is low, guess what also goes down? Oh, your aid, right? So your aid is strictly tied to your GPA. Okay, so just keep that in mind as a junior. If that means you have to retake classes, if that means you have to go to summer school, do it. Because, buddy, that is money in the bank that you're doing, right? So that is by far one of the greatest advice that we've given our students is do not let your GPA go, right? Don't, yes, it's junior year. Yes, it's, COVID and everything's going on. But remember, your GPA, you're working. It's money, right? It's not just a good report card. No, it is literally money, right? So make sure that you try your very best, retake classes. And if you need help with that, contact APS. We can help you triage that conversation with your counselors to really get you the help that you need and that analysis early on, right? Not last semester of senior year wanting to, do CPR to your to your GPA. Okay. Alrighty, and we continue on. Like we said, you can request more info here at the Scholarships and Grants website for Grand Canyon University. There are one of my I am an alumni of ASU. All the Wildcats out there. I know Naomi too. You're a student at ASU. So I love ASU, and as you'll hear many other students say, it's a great school, and there's a lot of funding at ASU, right? So these are like talked about in the chat there, public universities. So we said there's community colleges, there's public universities, and there's going to be one last one, private universities, right? So those types of institutions all have, financial aid. These public universities have tax dollars, right? Tax dollar money, meaning that I, as a taxpayer, am contributing to ASU and they have scholarships for ASU residents, right? So make sure that you are aware of these, and these are directly tied to your GPA, and they do have very specific deadlines, like the Doran Community Scholarship. Those are even for DACA students, the Armstrong Family Foundation. So make sure that your senior year, what year? Senior year, you're really applying, right, to these scholarships. We want you to know about them now, so that you see that you can get all your 4 years paid for as a DACA student, through some of these scholarships. If you write them down, you can have your list, and as senior year comes along, make sure you get those deadlines met for these scholarships. All right. And these are more scholarships that you can qualify for through ASU. And this is their scholarship.asu.edu portal, which you can check out. I really recommend you do it early on. So, like now for senior year, right? If you're like October of your senior year, that's really when you want to get all these things going. So, Normie, if you want to do U of A.
Yeah, so the U of A, they also have their ballpark scholarships. They have them, this portion right here for the first year Arizona, that will be more toward you juniors, because you will be seniors. You'll be first years. But same thing, you have to keep a good GPA, and you also have to work very hard on your ACT and SAT, because sometimes they require both. You have to have good GPA and good score on either your ACT or SAT. And also one thing that we missed mentioning, if you already know which school you want to go to, make sure you search which test they want, or which one is going to help you get a lot of these scholarships, because you don't want to take the wrong test and then have to retake another different test when you've only been practicing for, let's say, the ACT, when they're requiring SAT scores. So these are some of the scholarships that you will get if you have good ACT scores and GPA.
Yeah, excellent. And they range from $9,000 to $3,000. So, and they are available at all public universities. So this is just the numbers. Again, as your GPA goes up, so do these public universities and public awards, right? And these are just genuinely merit based, meaning that if you have a good GPA and a good ACT score, you will get these scholarships, right? And there's going to be a portal, the Scholarship Universe at the U of A, where you're going to be able to click on the website to get your list for those of you that are going to be Bobcats in Tucson. This university is in Tucson. And this university is where, ladies and gentlemen? This university is in Flagstaff, right? Very great weather up there. And like we said, very similar scholarship structure because it's a public university. And DACA students also qualify for some of their programs, specifically a private donor list here. This is a great resource, Naomi. Thank you for adding it. This is for NAU. So if you're undocumented, if you have DACA, make sure to look into these public universities because, like I said, millionaires like myself, kidding, go to these universities and give money for you, right? So make sure you take advantage of that. And this list is great, great resource there with those deadlines as well. Like I said, most of you will apply in your senior year, right? This is for NAU. Now, these ones again are for merit based, right? So these are for Arizona residents. If you do have legal status, you qualify for these merit based scholarships, which this one covers 100% of your tuition, the Lumberjack Scholars Award, right? So you just really want to make sure that you get your GPA and get as high a score on your ACT and your SAT as possible. Okay. And remember, you are medically considered every year, right? So every year you get these amounts. So you pretty much have your school paid for at public universities if you have high enough GPA and score. These are just some of our numbers. As we go along, you can check eligibility and more information there. Alrighty, so research on their websites. Senior year is a critical year to do this. Okay. Here you kind of have an idea that they exist, right? So senior year is super critical that you apply as early as possible to be able to be considered. That's why FAFSA season is October, right? And you maybe the don't it's the first time you hear about FAFSA, but know that by next year, October time, year comes around, you need to be applying for your FAFSA and lining everything up for money. All right, organizational scholarships. So, Naomi, let us know more about this.
Okay, so the first scholarship that we want to mention, the Dream US scholarship. I'm actually a recipient of this right now, and I want to let more people know it's not for US citizens, sadly, but it is for DACA and TPS students, meaning if you're not a resident or a US citizen, this scholarship is specifically for you. Don't think that you don't have options to pay for college because a lot of the merit scholarships, they are specifically for US citizens because they are taxpayer money. But this one is an organization scholarship. It's privately funded. There's two different ones that they offer, the National Scholarship and the Opportunity Scholarship. The main difference between both of these is that the Opportunity Scholarship is for states that have to pay out-of-state tuitions and they cannot pay in-state. But since we're in Arizona, we do have to pay out-of-state tuition, but most universities, they have a non-resident tuition, which means it's not in-state, but it's not so out-of-state, it's somewhere in the middle. And they can help you pay for that. They help you pay for most of your bachelor if you're a full-time student the whole time, so you can keep reapplying for this scholarship. So for example, me, I'm a transfer to ASU from a community college, and they gave me $31,000 in scholarship money, and they also give me stipend money as well for books and anything else that I might need. So basically my bachelor's is paid for. So this is a very good opportunity for anyone who has DACA or who has TPS. Scholarship applications open November 1st. So try to get in there. At first I thought this scholarship is only for like 1 or 3 people, but no, this scholarship, they are going big. There's approximately 50 new scholars that received it with me. And we do have meetings. They do try to help us. They send internships, they send immigration talks, anything that can help us. So it's a very big group of students, students that are from the past trying to help us, and also a lot of their like partner schools, they also partner with them to give us help. So it's a very good opportunity.
Mhm.
And then also other organizations that help you with scholarships is the Phoenix Union Foundation Scholarship. This is available for Phoenix Union High School students. That means Central, Hambra, all of these big public schools, right? They have these scholarships specifically for you guys. So I will try writing that down as well so that you can start looking them up on when you're a senior. There's also the Arizona Community Foundation. They also have more scholarships, and these are actually DACA eligible as well. There's also the College Success AZ. These are also DACA eligible, and the LU, LAC, and LNSC is a partnership within companies that also provide high need students with scholarships.
Yeah, College Success Arizona, the third one down there, guys, gave me a $24,000 scholarship, which I am very grateful for, because it really kicked in when I was in college. My GPA took a hit, and College Success was there because it's 4 years. So it's not just $6,000 once. Once you get it, 4 years. So definitely look into that your senior year. Get you that kind of like cushion so that when things get going and get tough, you have those second filters for your financial aid. All right.
Okay, and there's also Raise Me. This organization helps students that are still in high school to discover colleges and earn micro scholarships. You would upload. So basically, it's like some kind of uh,
Portal.
folder or profile where you like upload all of your achievements, and these achievements can be. Am I still on there? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
my computer's going crazy. These achievements can be anything from your grades, anything. If you participate in any clubs, if you play sports, if you're volunteer, if you add all of these to your profile, it will give you more chances of receiving these micro scholarships. So you can start since your freshman year. You guys are juniors. You guys can start uploading anything that you guys have done. If you guys have, for example, if you've helped us. Clean the street or anything before, you can also upload that up there. And there's different companies that they partner with that will help you get these scholarships because they see that you are trying to be part of the community, that you're trying to go to college. And it's a very good resource. You can find, you can make your profile here at this link.
Excellent.
And
And
then
for those of you that stayed, yeah, guys, many of you guys have already heard in Phoenix and in Arizona, we're getting each year the opportunity to apply for the Nason Joaquin Garcia Scholarship, which Naomi can tell us a little bit more about it, but because she is also a recipient. But for those of you that are involved here in APS, so it's not wasted time. We note it, and when the time comes to recommend you for this scholarship, we absolutely do it with gladness because we are in this together. So Naomi, tell us more about this great scholarship.
yes, so I received a scholarship this year. So they're going to So it's basically for APS, like she said, like Abdi said, people who participate in APS. So you don't feel like your work is not being taken into account. There are some pros to working with APS and helping the community, our community. This group, the National APS Scholarship, it's not only the money, but it's also a mentorship group that they started. So we have mentorship um, meetings.
Meetings?
Not they're focused on a certain
Area of interest?
topic. Like for example, this first one was first year students, like first generation students, but they also partner you with like a specific person that it's on the in that is in the field that you are trying to pursue. So for example, I'm an accountant and they partnered me up with a brother who is already an accountant, so they can help you not only with navigate through your schooling, but also when you're already out there in the field, you know exactly what you're going to be doing. Like, what is your day to day job going to look like? Am I going to be sitting on the desk and am I going to be helping people? Like, what is it that you're going to be doing exactly? So you get a bigger aspect of what your degree can get you. Like, there's many job opportunities for accounting. If you explore all of them, you will know for sure where you want to steer, or if you want to change your degree because you feel like you don't want to do that, that's also fine.
Yeah, excellent. So some of the databases and resources we want you to write out. These are powerful databases, right? And resources that get updated every single year. So right now we gave you a whole list of scholarships, but when you graduate, it's too late to apply for scholarships. There are a few, scholarships that are available, but the majority of the aid has been dispersed, May of your senior year. So you want to make sure that early on you have these databases that give you the deadlines for these scholarships and all the things you have to turn in. Do you need letters of recommendation? Do you need to write an essay? Do you need to do X, Y, and Z, right? So make sure to jot down, if anything, really these databases.
And these databases I want to add is if you don't have, let's say you weren't able to get your GPA to a certain level, these databases they can help you find scholarships that you're still applicable. Like if you need funding, most of us need help or have some need for these fundings because we don't have like $40,000 to pay for college. There's a lot of scholarships out there that they're probably just an essay or they're creative scholarships. You write a poem or you take a picture. These databases and resources they can help you find these maybe small, but they're still going to help you a lot to get through college. So one of the places that we like to send people is scholarships A through Z. They help students with their educational goals, regardless of their immigration status. So also DACA and non-eligible students can find scholarships here because if you don't apply, if you're not eligible for the publicly funded scholarships that we've already mentioned, again, they can help you find scholarships that are more tailored toward you. Maybe you don't have a good GPA or you don't have legal status. Um, that this database can help you find some. And they also partner with ALAS to provide the immigration scholarship hustle scholarships. It's they will train the students to become sufficient scholars. They will also help you find more scholarships. There's also the Isaac Amaya Foundation. It's also the same thing. They help you find scholarships. Hispanic Scholarship Fund. It's open for Hispanic students specifically, and that includes DACA students as well.
Yeah, great. So, one great resource is College Depot, right? So, Phoenix Public Library has a great resource where on the second floor, when it is open, right now it's closed, but the program is still going on, they update, right, their scholarship information. And there you can see for DACA recipients and also for non-DACA recipients, this is the website that I really want each of you to write down. It's the College Depot Scholarship List. It's probably one of the most comprehensive websites that I've seen specific to people who live in Arizona, graduates from Phoenix Union, right? So, folks like us. There's also the Phoenix Union Scholarship. So, many of you guys are going to in Phoenix schools, make sure to look at the Phoenix Union. Now they have scholarship info for graduates of Maryville, graduates of Central, graduates from these specific high schools that will be posted on their website, phx.org. And there's the current URL. The URLs could change, so make sure to reach out to your counselors and your school officials, maybe a teacher, and also there's some list for the DACA recipients, right? So there's going to be a scholarship lab actually where you can kind of, get your feet wet. November, every Saturday, there's going to be some scholarship lab. So if you guys wanted to see, oh, are there any scholarships for juniors, which there could be some, you can go check out on a Saturday, pick your Saturday in November, and your parents can tag along as well and just apply for scholarships, see what it's like, this Saturday, you can pick a Saturday and really work for your money. And for anybody, yeah, Noemi.
I wanted to mention that we're gonna have we actually scheduled a scholarship lab specifically for DACA students on November 21st. So keep a lookout for that invitation if you're DACA and you want to focus more on DACA eligible scholarships.
Excellent. So many of you guys expressed interest in like working or volunteering, like for example with Berea, or learning more about media and how it works. We found a great internship opportunity that is tied to a scholarship, several scholarships once you apply, right? if you participate in this program early on, so let's say you participated your senior year or your junior year, you can actually qualify for community college scholarships. And this is a program that's called Spot 127. I don't know if you guys have ever driven on Thomas and 35th Avenue. Around there, there's like this building that says Spot 127. Well, Spot 127 is a it's like a program where they teach you how media works and how maybe film works or how to use these different technologies um, that are associated with NPR, National Public Radio, right? So those of you that are interested in like how media works, and even if you're not and you want diversity in your resume, I recommend you really look into the Spot 127. And hey, you'll learn a few things for the organizations, your favorite organizations like Berea and all these cool programs that you get to participate in.
Yes, I want to point out that they are online classes. They're conducted each semester. They're like 2 days a week, 3 to 5. It's not very long, and they're free. And then after you have participated in at least one semester, you can apply for any of these internships that are in the summer, and you work at least up to 10 hours per week, and then some weekends, and then you also like you're eligible for a lot of scholarships that they try to get specifically for this group that is in spot 127.
Yeah, and with this we conclude. We want you guys to the best for you for each and every one of you. Reach out to us with questions. So, are there any questions in the chat, Naomi?
No, I don't see any, but I do. Are we gonna do the?
Raffle? Let's do the raffle. Alrighty. So, can you guys still see my screen or no?
Yes, we can.
All right, so let's put some of the names. We had a session right before this one, and I'm going to include them as well. So one of them was Betsy, Sarai, Soraya, Magdiel, Jared. And in today's session, we had Rebecca, right? And I believe we might be missing a few. Or is that is for right now, the ones who stayed till the end are these folks. So make sure we're gonna see who's gonna win that very first ACT SAT prep book. Let's see, and our winner is first winner is Sarai. But last but not least, we're gonna remove her from the list now, and one more person is gonna get their free SAT and ACT book. Let's see who that person is gonna be. Woohoo! Excellent news. All right. So congratulations, Sarai. Congratulations, Magdiel, for participating. And Naomi, thank you so much for all the hard work. Like we said, we're trying our very best. And as you go along, senior year, we're gonna keep trying to provide this information for you and get to know more of your goals and make sure to fill out the survey if you haven't done so already. And we'll go from there. Naomi, last comments?
Yeah, if you want to put up the slide where the APS
Yeah.
website, because we will be having all these links, all these organizations on there, so that you can keep revisiting them. We will also post this recording and the PowerPoint as well.
All right. Well, adios, everybody. I will stop recording now and we will go from there. All right.